Hi there, everybody. Kevin here from ChangeWorks Interactive. I'm a registered psychotherapist. I live in Oakville, and I want to share with you today some of the ideas that can help you grow your business. Digital marketing has really helped me to connect to a larger audience that I would have done through more traditional methods. Joining me today is Keegan Borges, and Keegan is a digital marketing specialist and a family friend who has really helped me in this journey. He graduated from the Pelon School of Business at Sheridan College. He works as a marketing specialist for Virox Technology. And additionally, he runs his own marketing company called Strivergy, where he works with small to medium-sized businesses to elevate their brands, very similar to what he's done for me at ChangeWorks Interactive. Today, Keegan is going to walk us through some of the steps that he uses for branding and digital marketing. So Keegan, take it away.
Awesome. Kevin, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
I guess, Keegan, if you're not telling your story via technology these days, then you just aren't telling your story. So maybe what you could do is just tell our viewers a little bit more about just some of the processes that you walk through or that you think about when you're designing a campaign for one of those small or medium-sized companies.
Yeah, for sure. So I actually have a few slides prepared. So I'll share my screen and walk through a few steps in terms of building a brand.
Very good.
All right. So when it comes to branding and digital marketing, a lot of people have a misconception that it's just about a nice looking logo and a well-designed website. And while that's important and while that's a big part of branding, it's not the only thing. There's a lot of other considerations that go into it. And I'm going to walk you through what I deem as the four steps to success when it comes to branding. So first off, you have strategy, and then it links to identity. And then you look at tools. And then at the end, you put it all together and you actually start building the brand. So I'll dive in a little bit more on each of these topics. And I'll cover a few points from a high level. So when it comes to brand strategy, you really want to ask yourself what it is about your company that makes yourself different. You want to identify your why. As a business, what makes you tick? When you can drill down on your purpose, it'll really help throughout the process of building your brand. To help strengthen that message when you're telling it to your target audience. You want to define your overarching goal. You want people to be able to understand where you want your business to go, and more importantly, what you want to do with it. So for Kevin, his goal is to help people write a better story for themselves. And as you'll see as the presentation goes on, that's what we've branded as his tagline, is to write a better story. Kevin understands the importance of mental health, and he also is able to tie it together with career coaching and guidance. The next step is understanding your target audience. So it's important to understand your target audience from a number of aspects. So you want to dive into the details of who they are, how old they are, where they live, what they do with their free time. And then very important as well is you want to identify where does your target audience reside? Where do they engage? On what platforms? How do they get their information? Knowing these things, and I'll allude to it later, will help you to build your strategy around this and make it more impactful so that you can connect unique value proposition. So this is basically what sets yourself apart from your competitors. When it comes to unique value proposition, you want to think about yourself beside your competitor. And when you look at your audience and you've identified their pain points, you want to find a very clear and compelling reason as to why your business is going to be selected over your competitor's business. There has to be some key defining feature, and the more clear and compelling you can make that, the easier decision it'll be for your audience. And finally, when it comes to brand strategy, is kind of pulling it all together with creating your message and your positioning. So you want to be able to cater to each of your target audience segments. And typically businesses will have about 3 to 5 different segments within their audience. And you want to make sure that you can cater your your why and your goal and help them address their pain points throughout your messaging and your positioning. So step 2 is brand identity. So that's, really figuring out who your brand is. And this is where, a lot of people, whenever you think branding, is as soon as you mention branding, their mind goes here. So you want to think of things like your name, your logo, your tagline, your color palette. So that's, the colors that are used throughout your marketing materials, the imagery you use throughout your collaterals, your brand voice. So that's how you communicate with your audience through different touch points, whether that's through your social medias, your blogs, or whether that's, actually on a phone call or a Zoom call, like Kevin does with his clients very often. And then additionally, depending on your business, whatever assets you need, you want to brand them the same way. So if that's business cards, if that's envelopes, you want to brand them with the same look and feel that you're creating.
I'll just jump in there for a second, Keegan. I remember early on we talked about something as simple as, development of a logo, and I remember that we were kicking around the colors, what that would look like, and why that was appealing, what the message would look like. We designed, and I know you're going to show the audience afterwards what that logo looks like, but we talked about, does it look like, is it similar to other logos that are out there, and what is the message that's trying to be relayed by something as simple as that logo?
That's correct. And yeah, there's a number of different approaches you can take when it comes to making a logo. You can go the complex route, but more often than not, you'll see the most impactful logos are the very simple ones. If you think of, I guarantee if I ask you right now to think of the top 3 brands you can think of, they have very simple logos. You have, a Nike or Adidas, and those logos are just very simple elements that help to tell their story. So it's all about finding that balance.
Good.
Awesome. So moving on to the 3rd step, which is really the tools to help you take your presence to the next level, especially when it comes to online. And this is where digital marketing really comes into play. So the first tool, one of the most important ones, I think every small business or every business in general should have one, is website. And it's really important because if you don't have a website, you're missing out on a huge platform where every other business is. And, if you aren't there, your competitors are. So it's important to make sure your website emulates that look and feel that you created when we went through the brand identity in the previous step. Another tool that can really help with your online presence is to build a brand video, that you may feature on your website or your social platforms. So for Kevin, that was a brief animated video that we produced together, which, it helps to display some of the company's values and services, and it really helps to provide a little bit of an insight as to what ChangeWorks is. You want to consider as well relevant social media platforms. Now, you might be thinking there's so many different social media platforms, and I know Kevin and I have discussed this a number of times over the years about what platforms are going to work the best, which one should we try. And this is when you want to refer back to the strategy. So you want to look at your target audience research that we covered in the first step. So when you look at this and you look at where is your audience, where do they like to get their information, what platforms are they active on, that's where you want your business to be. That's where you want to position yourself so that you can tell your story to them where they are and where they're willing to listen. 4th is email marketing. So you want to be able to build yourself a list of contacts that you can call your tribe, people who will believe in your business, people who they want to hear your message. And those are the people that you need to focus on because those are the people that are going to use word of mouth marketing and tell your story to other people as well. Finally, is Google My Business. So this is a feature on Google, and I'm sure you've seen it. If you do a quick Google search for any business, you'll see a little profile pop up on the side. And that's done by design. So, these business owners and marketing teams run those profiles, and you're able to curate what shows up there. You can connect all your social accounts there. There's prompts to go to your website, directions. You can have bookings, depending on what kind of business. And then most importantly, I think what we would find value from most is reviews. So being able to get perspective from your audience on, how your business is doing. And you want honest reviews. And the good thing about Google is they're verified reviews. So as a business owner, Kevin and myself, as working on his marketing, we can't go in there and put any reviews that anybody gives us. They have to be real and authentic. So finally is brand building. So now you've got the look, the feel, the strategy, you've got that all nailed down. Now it's important to execute. So when it comes down to executing, the three things to focus on is to attract, engage, and delight your audience. So what that means is you want to attract them with any type of content you produce. So whether that's blogs or articles or video marketing, whatever it is, whatever content your business produces, you want to attract them with that. And then once you have their attention, you want to engage them. You want to, whether that's on social platforms, you want to respond to comments, or whether they're filling out forms with inquiries, you want to engage with them and start to have those conversations with your audience, because that's when you really start to learn more about them. And then finally, once you've engaged with them, you want to delight them. So you want to do everything in your power to see them succeed in whatever pain point you're alleviating for them. So every business is based around, a product or service to solve a problem and alleviate a pain point. Do your best as a business owner to, once you've engaged them, to delight them. And that's going to keep them coming back. That's going to keep them telling their friends. When it comes to brand building as well, there's two other things to consider. One is, as we do with Kevin very often, is throughout the content is you want to display your expertise, which is your value. So we produce a lot of educational pieces. We've done a whole module series with Kevin where he talks about the importance of change and different strategies you can use to cope with change, whether it's in a professional setting. And I'll include a link to that as well throughout this so you can check it out. The third and final step is to execute campaigns focused on brand awareness. So now that you have everything down, you have your tools, you have the strategy, and you have the look and feel, you want to start to grow some brand awareness. And that's where it comes to that attract stage. You want to bring people into your business, whether that's online or whether that's in your physical store. It's time to get some eyes on your business. So finally, as Kevin mentioned, I've had the pleasure of working with Kevin on ChangeWorks and the brand for the past 2 years now. And I think we've produced some really amazing things. And so I'll just go through a quick little overview of some of the things that we've done. So first off, like Kevin mentioned, was just nailing down the logo, getting a look and feel that one he liked and he thought was a good representation of the brand. Second is the website. So we did a full website revamp so that the look of the website would match the identity that we had created. This is that brand video, which I was talking about before. It's on Kevin's website as well, if you'd like to check it out. And then some social platforms here. So these are just a few of where we're active. There's Instagram. There's YouTube, which is where this podcast is hosted. You can see the first 2 episodes are available here. If you haven't watched those, you should definitely check them out. They're with some really, really amazing guests, and they've had some great conversations. And then finally, LinkedIn to connect with your business personnel, which we've done there as well. So as you can see, when it comes to the big picture, if you look throughout the landscape of all the marketing pieces we've created, the look and feel is the same. So your target audience, when they look at a piece of content coming from you, regardless of the platform, they're going to know it's yours and they're going to recognize your brand. So yeah, that's really the 4 main steps to success when it comes to brand building.
Excellent. Good. Very good. Keegan, thanks so much for walking us walking us through this. Really important, like, and I think a lot of people that are in my shoes, whether you're running a small office or, I'm a psychotherapist, but there'd be tons of people who, maybe there's 1, 2, 3 people working in their office. I think it's still important to have a presence there, so that you can tell your story. And if listening to somebody or listening to someone's story helps inspire somebody, that's really what it's all about. So I'm hopeful that your story today, Keegan, has inspired somebody, not only on a personal level, but maybe to look at the communication that they're having with their business and maybe moving that to the next level. Okay, thanks so much, Keegan, for joining us today. Again, for our viewers out there, you can catch our show on all the major social media platforms. I invite you to follow ChangeWorks Interactive and particularly this podcast, Changing Gears. Have a great day today and stay safe. See you next time.
Thanks so much, Kevin.